Good morning. It's April 17th. Doing a little something different this morning. Was able to set up screen capture on my second monitor. So, uh, wanted to talk about the new death toll for the coronavirus. Reuters is reporting 33,000 deaths. John Hopkins reporting 28,998. If you remember yesterday's video, I talked about how those aren't real numbers because they're basically, if you have COVID-19 and you die, they record your death as COVID-19 being from that, no matter what. So those aren't even like legitimate numbers. New for today, and I'm sure a lot of people will freak out about, or already freaking out about. In the state of New York, a wonderful state where I live, Governor Cuomo issued an executive order ordering public people to wear masks or face coverings if you got in public. So I will talk about this. Amid the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, Governor Andrew Cuomo announced today he will issue an executive order requiring all people in New York to wear a mask or face covering when out in public and in situations where social distancing cannot be maintained, such as on public transportation. The executive order will go into effect on Friday, April 17th. So I believe I saw another article states it goes into effect 8 o'clock tonight. I'm sure a lot of people will be freaking out about that. Because you have people that don't want to wear a mask, like me. I don't think if it's my choice to wear one, then I'll wear one. But I don't think it should be forced to wear one. But I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that will be freaking out about you not wearing your mask if you're not wearing a mask. So I was going to play this, but I don't want to play the whole thing because I don't think many people are interested in listening to Cuomo talk. Let's see. So it was an executive order requiring nursing homes to report COVID-19 deaths to families. Yeah, go into that. But so he, I like how Cuomo the other day he talked about how Trump isn't a king. We don't have kings. We don't have a king. We have a president. Meanwhile, Cuomo acts like he's a king every day. I also see down here, the governor also announced the state will give 100 ventilators to Michigan and 50 ventilators to Maryland. Well, I find that interesting because Cuomo, was whining and crying about the state not having enough ventilators, and he wanted some from the feds, and the feds didn't give him any, and he was crying up the river because we didn't have them, even though he knew since 2015 that if a large-scale pandemic broke out, the state was going to be short ventilators, and he did absolutely nothing to prepare for that. He even issued an executive order that they were going to seize ventilators from hospitals that were not using their ventilators. And then it came out that he had them in stockpile. But I find it interesting that we don't have them, we're going to need them, and now he's giving away 150 to other states. I mean, which is great if they need them and we got them. Yeah, definitely send them. But I just find it interesting how, we don't have enough, and then now, we have something to give away. So, I'm sure you heard yesterday the small business loan hit its cap of $350 billion, and is now out of money. And of course, my internet is not going to work. So the relief fund for small businesses, I can't remember what it was called. They had a name for it. The paycheck protection plan or whatever. Yeah, there you go. Paycheck protection program. So that's now out of money, and that's been shut down. So I also want to point out that I'm sure this didn't get a lot of airtime in the lamestream media, but a few days ago, actually, yeah, a few days ago, a week ago or so, April 9th there in the news, the Senate Democrats, of course my internet is not working again. So Senate Democrats block $250 billion for coronavirus small business loans. So I mean I get they probably I've read some other things that, well, they wanted to include this, they want to include this, they want to include this, and that's why they blocked it. Okay, because there was these other things that it didn't have or whatever. Well, what I don't understand is, okay, get this passed so that way, because if you had passed this, right, then the small business loan program wouldn't be out of money right now and shut down. So why couldn't you have passed it? Just get it passed. That way this didn't happen. Okay. And if you want other things, that you want money for other things, okay, then work on a bill for that. Okay. It's kind of, because now, small businesses were hurting before, and now they're going to be hurting even more because now they can't get loans because the loan program's out of money. Right. So another thing, okay, Trump had a spat with the governors that I mentioned before about reopening the economies and stuff like that. Okay. And then I know the how the powers work, between the states and the government, things like that. Okay. So Trump came out with this 3-phase plan. Okay. And he's on this call with the governors, and he made a point. He said, "You're going to call your own shots," okay? Which, in a way, is disappointing because when you live in a state like where I do in New York, you have a governor that is very democratic, very left wing, very liberal. All right, there's a lot from that side that they want to drag this out. They want to keep the shutdown, and they don't want to reopen anything. They want these shutdowns kept in place. So for this 3-phase plan, okay, read here. Phase 1, for instance, plan recommends strict social distancing for all people in public. Gatherings larger than 10 are to be avoided, and non-essential travel is discouraged. Phase 2, people are encouraged to maximize social distancing and limit gatherings to no more than 50 people unless precautionary measures are taken. Travel could resume. Phase 3 envisions a return to normalcy for most Americans, with a focus on identification and isolation of any new infections. Trump said recent trends in some states were so positive that they could almost immediately begin taking steps laid out in Phase 1, which I kind of agree with. There are some areas where there's not many cases at all. I mean, yeah, there's like you have like New York City is overwhelmed with cases, but like states where there's not many cases, I don't think there's any reason why using caution that things can open up a little bit. So there's that. So this kind of goes back to the Democrats blocking the bill, okay, and about, hey, get this passed, you can help small businesses. If you want to do other things, then you could do that. So, Democrat House Majority Leader Congressman Hoyer made a comment. I'm not sure when. It was a few days ago. Yeah, April. This article was April 13th. So he makes this comment about how House members, okay, they're not going to travel to Washington before May 4th, absent an emergency. Okay, absent an emergency. Okay, well, you've got, let's look at this. Go back here for a moment. 29,000 to 33,000 people dead from the coronavirus. Okay, granted, those aren't real numbers. Okay, but people have died. All right, you've got small businesses that are hurting for money. They can't get money now because of the program's out of money. Okay, you've got reports of 22 million people out of work. Okay, do you think that's an emergency? I would say so, but absent an emergency, that's not. You wouldn't call that an emergency. Okay, there's no reason why you can't be in D.C. and social distance in D.C. and get work done. And it's going to get worse if they keep these lockdowns in place. Unemployment's going to go higher. You're going to have businesses that are closed. I mean, these are people's lives that are right now on hold and going down the tubes because they're out of work. They're not going to be able to pay their bills. So you got 22 million people out of work. Okay, and these businesses now, they can't get money. Okay, the businesses, if they go out of business, that's more people unemployed, and that's you can't. These people are. It's lives that you're messing with. I mean, I get the whole other side. Well, if you return honestly too soon, it's the lives you're messing with. Also, I get that. But these people, it's gonna this long term effect on the economy is going to be painful for a lot of people. So we need to try to do what we can, get things started back up as soon as we can, so that way, people aren't unemployed for a long period of time. So I think it's pretty much all I have for today. For the moment, I'll be posting some of these things to my Facebook page. If you go onto my Facebook page, facebook.com/Andrew1776. Might be posting some other things there. I'm going to try to do a video a day. We'll see how it works. It might be able to happen. It might not. I'm not really sure. Trying to work on a schedule for what I want to do. If I want to do them mornings, nights. I work a full-time job, so that part's kind of tough. So some of the headlines on Drudge, quick before I go. U.S. deaths passed 33,000. This isn't the flattened curve we were promised. Gallup Trump approval, sharpest drop recorded. Gallup polls are a joke, in case you didn't already know that. Um, Real quick, there's a Gallup poll. I believe it was a Gallup poll. I'll have to look into that and get back to you on that. But there's a poll out that said that Cuomo, 87% of New Yorkers approved of the job that Cuomo was doing in New York. I'm like, what? How is that possible? I went and looked, and 48% were Democrats, and 40% lived in New York City. So there you go. I mean, if you're in New York City, if you live in New York City and you're a Democrat, they all love Cuomo down there, and that's where the majority of the population in New York State is. So what does that tell you? Let's see. NYC paramedic haunted. You hear the cries. Protesters gather to defy stay-at-home orders. There's a lot of that going on, and it's spreading. Maryland governor says now is the worst possible time to lift restrictions. Could crisis kill a debt-laden postal service? Jump in new cases clouds Europe's reopening plans. Nations struggle to count virus toll. Why epidemiologists still don't know death rates. Well, you're not going to get a true death rate if you continue to count the deaths the way that you are. Forward testing buzzing wristbands to keep workers apart. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Not. Pentagon chief addresses origin theories, likely natural. There's a big discussion on that about where the coronavirus came from and how it spread originally. Professional gamblers in Nevada now able to collect unemployment. That's great. Well, they are. They work for themselves. I don't know. That sounds kind of messy to get into. Crisis accelerating depletion of Social Security funds. At kitchen tables, agonizing over $1,200. That won't be enough. That is 100% true. There's a lot of situations where the $1,200 stimulus check isn't going to do a darn thing. Because the money stops coming in the door doesn't mean that the bills stop coming. Study: regular exercise can keep coronavirus from turning deadly. Some people turn to herbal medicine. Supermarkets adjust meat section as supplies cut. I knew that was coming. Maybe I'll do a video on that too. Fresh produce goes to waste. I'd like to know where, because I know when I go in stores in my area, they don't have a lot of produce. So Lula Bolsonaro leading Brazil to slaughterhouse. World sick map. Trump pushes big reopen. Shutdown backlash brews. Stocks soar on drug hope. And phone will listen to your cough. Yeah, that sounds like a real good idea. So that's all I have for now. I probably won't do a video over the weekend. Or Saturday, Sunday. I might at night. I don't know. I'll just play it by ear. And if you see one pop up, cool. If not, I'll get back to you on Monday with another one. So have a good weekend. If you don't see a video, and stay safe, and yeah, I don't know, but have a good weekend. Stay safe. I'll see you soon.